My name is Lee Vella. I'm with Clear Channel Outdoor, and we're so honored to be here with you today to get the word out about this very important insurance program for flooding in our area. I think everyone here can agree that a flood can happen anytime. Look out the windows right now. And it doesn't take a hurricane. It's just look at what happened with the Tax Day flood, the Memorial Day flood, and more recently the flood in the Kingwood area, as the council member can attest to. And according to the Flood Control District, a major flood occurs somewhere in Harris County about every 2 years. So it's an ongoing issue for everyone in the Greater Houston area, and we now are going to talk about a program that's going to help remind people to buy flood insurance. But before we get into that, I have the distinct pleasure of introducing the 63rd Mayor of the City of Houston, Mayor John Whitmire.
Thank you, Lee, and thank everyone, certainly the stakeholders, Houston Realtors, Clear Channel, the press. Thank you for playing your role, and certainly it looks like the entire City Council of the City of Houston. It's moments like this that unite us, to bring about collaboration, to look out for Houstonians.
So now we want to talk a little bit about the weather, and we have Jeffrey Evans here, who is the meteorologist in charge for the Houston Galveston at the National Weather Service. He'll be speaking about the NOAA National Weather Service hurricane forecast this year and why that makes the need for flood insurance even greater than usual. Welcome, Jeffrey.
Thank you all. It's an honor to be here with the mayor and with the full council, and just goes to show how important this message really is. And I just want to echo really what the mayor just said, is that, you know, as much as a federal agency, we work with the mayor's office very closely when storms start approaching, when we start dealing with risks. It's really up to the individual to know what they need. And this is the time to really assess that. This is the time before a storm to get your plans together, and in particular, we're going to talk about flood insurance as one of those big pieces of the puzzle. You know, when you start depending on other people, when you get in a disaster, you know, it's a rougher road for you. So we really encourage people to take care of yourselves. The water temperatures in the Gulf of Mexico are late summer temperatures already. That's the fuel. That's what these hurricanes need to intensify, to develop. So that's a big piece of that. And unfortunately, the atmosphere, as we get deeper into the season runs from June all the way to the end of November. For our area, really into about mid to late October. As we get deeper into the summer, the atmospheric pattern is going to get quieter and allow a more favorable environment for these storms to brew up in the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico. So officially, the NOAA is forecasting between 17 and 25 tropical storms or hurricanes, up to 13 hurricanes, and up to 7 of those could be major hurricanes. That's a Category 3, 4, or 5 hurricane. These are big numbers. It's a big numbers for the Caribbean, the Atlantic Basin, the Gulf of Mexico. That doesn't necessarily say whether or not we are going to get hit or not. It's been 41 years since we've had a Category 3 impact the Houston area. That was Alicia in 1983. That's a long time. To say that we're overdue is an understatement. We are due for a big storm. Each storm is a little bit different. As we've witnessed with Allison, as we witnessed with Harvey in 2017 and Imelda in 2019, we can get tremendous amount of rainfall, even with quote unquote just a tropical storm. It doesn't take a major hurricane to have a big impact. We flood very easily here. We are a flood prone area. So this is the time. This flood insurance is really key. Just because you didn't flood in Imelda, just because you didn't flood in Harvey, doesn't mean you're not going to need flood insurance for the next storm. I hear that all the time. I didn't flood in Harvey, so I should be good. No, not necessarily. Maybe your area didn't get the 59 inches of rain that Dickinson got. So it also just takes one thing to float down a neighborhood and plug the drainage right in front of your house, and all of a sudden it backs into your house. You talk to people who have gone through this with Harvey, who had flood insurance. For those that didn't, it's a whole different recovery process. It's really very, very important to have that flood insurance in place. This is the time of year to add that. I know we're all trying to cut costs. but this is not a cost to cut. It's very important. It takes 30 days before when your application gets in till the flood insurance starts. You can't wait for a storm to be out there in the Gulf and say, now is the time I'm going to go ahead and add it. Now I'm afraid. This is the time of year to add that. So I just want to close, as said earlier, it doesn't even take a hurricane. It doesn't even take a tropical storm. We can get floods from just normal afternoon thunderstorms. Again, don't hesitate, don't wait. Get your family prepared. You're not going to have a lot of notice a lot of times, even with a big hurricane. Alicia, as I mentioned, 1983, a Category 3 that made landfall right near Houston, brought a lot of wind damage, like the derecho, but over a much bigger area of Houston. We only had about 72 hours notice from formation until it was making landfall. So you're not always going to have 5 to 7 days to watch this on the Weather Channel and have Jim Cantori show up on Galveston Beach and and get that energy going. So get your plans together. Get your evacuation. If you're along the coast, know where you're going to go, when you're going to go. This is the time to really start having those conversations. So anyway, thank you for your time this morning, and we're going to hope for the best, but we need a plan for the worst.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Of course, none of this campaign that we're talking about today would be possible without the support of the resources of the Houston Association of Realtors. It's 48,000 members across the region, make it the largest professional trade association in Houston and the second largest realtor association in the country. And Bob Hale's here with us, so thank you, Bob, for being here as well. But we want to hear from the chair right now, and the HAR chair is Thomas Mouton. Thomas?
Thank you all. My name is Thomas Mouton, and I am proud to be your 2024 chair of the Houston Association of Realtors. I want to first thank Mayor Whitmire for allowing us to be here at this press conference today at City Hall and taking time out of his busy schedule to be here. I also want to thank all the city council members that are here in attendance. I want to thank Lee Vella with Clear Channel Outdoors for being such an amazing partner on this campaign as well. Lastly, I want to thank Bob Hale, our president and CEO at HAR staff that's here, and as well as my fellow board members that's here in attendance as well. We have about 48,000 members of HAR, and we are the front lines with our clients when they experience a tragedy. The information Jeffrey shared just now should be a warning to everyone in our region, but as we enter the hurricane season, all of our members want to encourage citizens across the area to obtain flood insurance. There's the National Flood Insurance Program as well as private insurance program as well. Here, we at HAR have established a website to provide more information about your options and risk involved with flooding at har.com/flood. A reminder, like Jeffrey said, there's a 30-day waiting period until the insurance policy becomes effective, so now is the time. It's heartbreaking when we have a homeowner who did not have flood insurance and does not have the funds to repair or to rebuild. We saw this following Hurricane Harvey, and when people just had to walk away from their homes with absolutely nothing. Flood insurance isn't just for homeowners, as renters can also purchase content coverage to replace their belongings as well. I know the National Flood Insurance Program and the private insurance has both increased their premiums due to mountain national disasters, not only in our area, but across the country as well. Flood insurance is still a necessity as part of living in our region. It's better to have flood insurance in case of a national disaster than lose your home and your belongings. So just one more time, our website for information and resources is har.com/flood.